Hello everyone. We have a game with the white pieces against... Oh wait, Mohammad Reza. Didn't we play him? So I think we played him in a couple videos ago. But we do get a Jobava London, which is nice. Okay, so he stops all of our ideas with an a6. I've played this myself. So we can just play e3, open our bishop. Okay, so he goes for a Fianchetto setup. So normally when I put my bishop here, now maybe it stares into the pawn. So let's change it up and develop it to e2 instead, which supports a pawn on h5. So he fianchettos. And you could definitely just develop with your knight, a normal move. I kind of want to go h4 though. Hmm. Let's throw it in. Because if he doesn't stop it, we'll play h5, so he does stop it. And now we can develop our knight normally towards the center. With the inclusion of h4, h5, can't be bad for us. So he develops a knight, but in front of his c-pawn. So he can't challenge our center. I do want to jump my knight into the center and improve it. If he takes me, I guess I'll take with the bishop to challenge his. But he doesn't. He jumps it in the center, attacks this knight, which I don't care if he doubles my pawns there. It undefends the center. So what about if I take this pawn? He has to take with the queen. Bishop c4, hitting the queen. Ah, he has this check. That's annoying. So I don't get to take on f7 in time. Yeah, check c3 and then he goes. Okay, so let's do something normal. Let's force the knight to do something. f3, controlling the center. And now he takes this knight. But this knight doesn't threaten anything and has nowhere to go backwards. So I think I'll take the other knight. And this is bad for him because he has a pawn hanging at the end of the line. And also his knight has to go back to blocking his c-pawn. So he tried to be a little fancy with this inclusion, switching it up a little bit, but I mean, you probably need to calculate if you're going to do that. Otherwise, you're just taking a chance that it works, and that's not going to... Okay, so he does have another square here, but I didn't mention it because it looks even worse than before. So if you take it, you don't get the pawn, but you do get this crazy pawn mass in the center, which is kind of nice. The alternative is we take the pawn. It's also a huge mass, which is nice. He takes this pawn, but that looks wrong for some reason. I guess we kick it with the queen, and it's trapped. There's nowhere to go. Wow. Okay, so let's just take the free stuff. The knight can't even do this. And now it's hanging. So it's free stuff for free. He's hitting our queen. The only other square was d2, but d2 doesn't attack the knight. I mean, there's also b1, but why block that from your rook? So this hits the knight, and now the knight has nowhere to go and cannot be defended by an additional piece. So in 12 moves, we take down Mohammad Reza in spectacular fashion. And this might have been the first Jobava London game where we see them trying Fianchetto, with the King's Indian compact defense on the king side. So he tries to attack our bishop, some type of counterplay, in case I pre-moved. We can now take this pawn either way. I feel like opening up our rook not only hangs the h5 pawn, coordinates well, takes away squares. So now he's just going all out because of his knight. So he's hitting the bishop yet again. But if I'm correct, it just hangs another pawn. Super strong pawns. His knight's still trapped. Now he's sacking an additional piece. We don't have to respond. We can just take the knight. If we do take it, his knight's still trapped. But he'll try some more desperado stuff like queen takes pawn. But then bishop back and his knight's still hanging. So any line you go down, his knight's hanging. So yeah, so while we just get to sit here and enjoy how we're going to slowly win the game, he's over there, he doesn't want to wait for us to take our time. So he resigns. So we get a Jobava London on the board. And then center development. And then you could still develop your bishop here, but because he's kind of making it harder for you, I just chose a different diagonal. So development. And now here, again, you could just develop, but if he doesn't stop h5, like if he just develops a piece and you play h5, it's much better for you. So you might as well include this because he basically has to go something like h5 and then you get to turn back anyway. Development and center. Improving a piece. Now f3. They're saying it's a mistake because it's just an equal position. And they're saying more positionally better was to take the knight. He's going to take back. And I'm guessing you're going to maybe just take here and play against the structure. So let's turn the engine on. Yep, you take here and you play against the structure. So you go c3. And now in the long term, these pawns are weaknesses. So in an endgame, you have, like your win condition ready. So that's a more accurate line. I didn't go down that. I went down f3, which I also like. I think it's more practical. It doesn't give you a better endgame if he plays correctly. But he immediately blundered the position by taking the knight. If he were to play correctly, it would look something like he was going to take this knight. We were going to take back. I said I didn't care about this structure because it looks pretty strong. And now he has to get rid of my pieces. So he takes here. We contest his bishop. He takes to mess up our pawns. Something, well, maybe not. Maybe, I like c5 actually. So something like this. And we play this position and everything's fine. So the computer likes the better endgame instead of something like this. And after looking at it, the final position, I also like the other position because it looked like it was just an easier game and more to play for. So yeah, so f3 is an inaccuracy, but totally fine. But then he blunders, takes the knight, force move. Now if you just take back his regular knight, he's totally fine. So we have to do the calculation, take this knight, and then we know we're at least getting the pawn. So we get the pawn, and we're just up a +1, which is a pawn. So he could play this just with a worse position if he doesn't take the pawn and get greedy, and just opens up in the center like a normal person. But he goes pawn hunting, immediately losing the game, +3. He has no way out, so he starts just getting desperate. This stuff is ridiculous, and then he resigns. So just a good Jobava game, and our first one with the Fianchetto from black. So now that we're more, we're higher rated, we're going to get stuff like this more often. Should be more fun games ahead. Stay tuned. Good luck in your chess, and goodbye.